So yeah, today I was like watching for some videos online and I found something like a drama that is on right now on Albion online about like AFK drop farming. That's weird for me because I never thought that would happen in a random game like this. So I checked this video and yeah, I don't know if I can explain everything to you guys, so I'll just place a video for you. This is the video, Mogdone then the video. And if you guys want the link, I can place it in the chat. Don't worry about it.
T-Band is thinking about it, Eugene Jean is preparing it, and I'm also considering it. Adventurers, Albion is going through some dark times, but that's mostly because Joe Mama's so fat she covers the sun. Could you please ask
Hey yo!
a little bit? Thank you, I appreciate that. Now, all jokes aside, adventurers, we are actually going through some difficult times in Albion Online. Now, if you're unaware on what's been happening on your favorite sandbox MMORPG, well, this has to do with the way the category on our Twitch page has been looking like for the last few months. You see, in recent times, our category has been plagued by 24/7 AFK drop farming streams
Exactly.
that are surprisingly successful, occupying the first 3.
Yeah, as I said, basically, a lot of people watches AFK drop farming streams because they don't close and you can be like 24/7 in there to get every drop that you want. You literally just have to leave the PC turned on, and a lot of people do that with the AFK streams. So they end up making a lot of money out of the AFK streams because of the sponsors and things like that. And the sponsors end up paying less and less money because of that, and that's a big problem.
Rows on Twitch that are traditionally called the discoverability rows. Now, if you don't know what this is, well, it's basically the laziest way of making content. You know, even calling it content feels like I'm doing it a service. It's more like regurgitated food placed on a silver platter in front of your viewer.
Yeah,
and
that's
the viewer
basically
is asked
not
only
content.
to eat it, but enjoy it. Basically, the streamers are recording content. Let's say they have a 10-minute video and they're just playing it on the loop 24/7 every single day, every single week, every single month,
Exactly.
every single year, if they're not being stopped by anybody. If there was such a thing as the lazy Olympics, those guys would absolutely make it to the top if they showed up, of course. Before I go any further,
Exactly,
I want
what
to
the
clarify
fuck, though?
something. When I'm saying
Imagine
all this,
being
I'm
so
not talking
lazy
about streamers like
to appear. Yeah, imagine being too lazy to appear in like a lazy competition, Olympics or something like that. That's huge though. Imagine that guy would like win the Olympics immediately. But he will not show up to claim the prize. That's the problem.
like Equat, T-Banj, Eugene Jean, and all the other people that are probably gonna start AFK streaming soon. There's a very clear difference between the people that created this problem, like the actual AFK streamers, and the protesters, because that is what Equat, Coco, and the others are doing. They are protesting the lack of care that is.
Am I a bad person for not knowing who Coco is?
As content creators was basically like trying to poke a dead person with a stick, trying to convince it to do a backflip. It has not been very effective, adventure, so that's why it came down to this. And I want to make a very clear distinction between the patient zero, the person who started all of this, and the protesters who are just trying to make Albion change its rules. Now, why do we care so much about those streams, and why should you care as well? Well, first of all, those streams are making it much harder for newcomers, when I'm talking about newcoming streamers, to become successful because of how Twitch works. You see, on Twitch, the more viewers you have, the higher up the category you go. And if you arrive in the first 3 rows, that is where you get discovered. Until that point, you have to rely on external sources, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Shorts, and so on and so forth to push your content ahead.
I'm
now,
still studying
if you
about
are not
that.
in the first 3
By the way, guys, about that outcomes like out of the Twitch, I'm doing videos on YouTube, on TikTok, and Twitter, Discord, and Instagram. I'm doing everything because, like, yeah, I really want to grow. It's not that easy. So if you guys want to check it out, I can just paste my links in the chat, and don't worry about it. I can do it more than once. I'll probably also make comments for the Nightbot because I have the Nightbot in here to make the song requests and things like that, you know.
rows where those AFK streams are, by the way, because we live in a category in which we have the highest percentage of AFK streamers that arrive in the first 3 rows.
I didn't know about that.
Twitch. I don't know any other category that has this problem at this size right now. And because of that, those newcomers are just basically being pushed lower and lower and lower. Second of all, this affects the public image of the game. Whenever you want to go and watch an Albion Online stream, so you want to have an idea of how the game plays, maybe you've never heard of it before, or you've never played it before, and you just want to check it out through a non-edited video, you want to watch a live stream so you can also communicate with the streamer, you go in the category, and chances are if you just select a random stream to watch, you're probably gonna land on an AFK one. And every single new viewer that Albion gets, before they can land on a real stream, they have to play whack-a-mole with the streamers. Like, is this one real? No, damn it. Is this one real? No, damn it. Is this one real? No, damn, what is this? Is this one real? No, damn it. And as you can imagine, that does not create for a very good public image. And the public image of the game matters because that's how you got here. You got here through ads, you got here through reviews, and other people showcasing the game. And last but not least, those regurgitate.
Most of the people just watch big streamers anyway, so the big streamers, when they are AFK, they usually say literally that it's an AFK stream. I can come here to Albion Online and check what is in here. Yeah, this guy is not like AFK farming. I don't know about this one. Fuck Turka is not doing that. I don't know about this one. A big Coco. Okay, that's Coco. Dude, I don't know who is this guy. But yeah. Drops, okay. Yeah, I don't see like a lot of people doing AFK streams. It's like they look like at least they are actually doing the content. Unless they are faking the content so Twitch doesn't know that they are AFK streaming. They could be doing that. It's possible. I just don't know about that. Alright, let's skip the video.
It much harder for the whole category in terms of ad revenue. The way you advertise on Twitch is on a category basis. If you want to advertise a product like, let's say, this remote control that can help me turn into dark mode.
Hey yo.
Pretty cool, ain't it? If you want to advertise this remote control, you would have to select the category on which you want to advertise it. Now, if you had to sell a product, would you sell it in Albion Online? A free-to-play MMORPG available on mobile with the highest percentage of AFK streamers in the top 3 rows and the highest percentage of AFK viewers? It's a true match made in heaven, adventurers. I don't think you would sell in this category, and that's what advertisers are doing. They're just avoiding our category, thus making it harder for streamers to sustain themselves.
That's what I said like 5 minutes ago.
Streamers, but that wouldn't be further away from the truth, because you, as viewers, want good content. Well, this good content won't be able to be created if the streamers have to find other means of surviving because the ad revenue is not enough. This good content wouldn't exist if streamers straight up quit because their efforts are not being rewarded because AFK streamers are taking their spots. So as you can see, AFK streamers are doing a lot of disservice to the category. But there's one more thing that those guys are doing. And that is nothing wrong according to the rules. Yes, you heard me right, those AFK streamers are not breaking any of the rules.
What do you mean?
This is where the controversy
What do you mean they're not breaking rules?
You can almost hear Eugene Jean absolutely raging in the background. Eugene Jean, I am with you on this one, and that's why I'm making
They're breaking like the economy of Albion streamers. What do you mean?
According to Albion, being AFK is not even mentioned by the rules of the game itself. However, SBI has a clear stance on this, and we know that SBI is against AFK streaming because they do have a rule against this in the Albion Online Creators Program, in short AOCP. There is a rule over there that prohibits people from being AFK for more than 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. So technically those streamers could get banned from the AOCP. Now that would make it so that they no longer get free premium, they would have to pay for it with their hard-earned money, they wouldn't get free skins to promote them and to showcase them to viewers, and they wouldn't get premium giveaways for their viewers. So
I don't have any of that though.
A punishment that nobody really cares about. This reminds me of the fights we used to have in kindergarten. Little Timmy annoyed me, so I just push him ahead. Hey, little Timmy, don't you dare do that again. And little Timmy looks me in the eye, puzzled, and goes, Mogdone, if you ever do that again, I'll poop myself. Hey, little Timmy, you know, I was not planning to push you again, but now that you said that, I kind of want to see
No, what?
Mogdone, if you ever do that again, I'll poop myself.
What the
Hey,
fuck?
listen,
Who
you know,
says
I was
that?
not planning to push you again.
I
but
never
now that
saw
you
a
said
kid
that,
saying
I
that.
kind of want to see what happens. You know what I mean? It's SBI is trying to punish those guys, but at the same time, it's not really a punishment, is it? Now, you would think that creators are just a bunch of crybabies, and for the most part, you would be correct. But whenever we don't call every single death a stream snipe, we actually come up with some pretty decent solutions to the problems that appear in our category. Two of the most noteworthy solutions that creators came up with was first of all to make drops limited for AOCP members, and second of all add an extra point to the TOS that regulates the content that people can make. Basically, by just adding an extra point, you could say something like, if you plan to create content for this game, yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. Now, both of those solutions seem very good on paper, but they also have problems. Of course, things had to get complicated, but adventurers, fear not, complication is my middle name. I lived with my wife for the past 6 years. I'm basically an expert in defusing bombs nowadays,
Hey,
so let me
yo.
approach very carefully this topic. So first of all,
He'll probably be dead
drops
after
limit
this
for
video.
AOCP members. With how
If she
easy
watches
it is to
it.
get into the Albion Online Creators Program
Imagine.
nowadays, it's basically still gonna feel like a free-for-all. And even though this would enable SBI to punish the rule breakers in a more severe way by removing drops from their channels, this requires work. And I feel like if at any moment an SBI employee starts working, even accidentally, like they don't want to work, they want to procrastinate and watch some Mr. Beast on YouTube, but if at any moment the idea of work appears accidentally into their heads, at that moment that employee combusts into magical flames, burns from inside out in a green flame that engulfs his body and consumes his soul.
Right.
He's doomed for eternity, smited by the gods. I don't think work is an option for SBI nowadays. Now, the other solution, adding an extra point to the TOS,
Dude is literally in the
might
wizard
seem like a
world.
good solution, but it's a little bit more complicated than it might seem initially. Now, as far as I know, the TOS of a game is not something that can be enforced in the court of law. So technically, if somebody wants to stream Albion and just keeps reading through the TOS, which mind most people do, if that somebody breaks a rule without knowing about it, or even knowing about it, to be honest, and they get banned from Albion Online, which also gets them banned from streaming that category on Twitch, this is something that affected that person's career, because getting banned from the game that you're playing and not being allowed to stream it anymore as a streamer that's mainly focusing on that
Exactly.
game
You have
is
to
very much
accept it
something
as
that
to play
affects
it.
you in real life. So basically, that streamer, as far as I'm aware of, could be able to sue SBI for damages. Now again, I'm not a legal expert, I don't know if this is actually how it works. If you are more knowledgeable in the field, please let me know in the comment section down below. However, there's another problem that in my opinion is even bigger than this. Okay, you are banning AFK streamers because they ruin the public perception of your game. Fair enough, but I think this might lead down a slippery slope. Because, okay, AFK streamers are ruining the public perception, but what about streamers that are being salty? A streamer that has just been killed, or maybe they're just super burnt out on the game and they just have a really bad attitude. Are those not ruining your public perception of the game as well? Or what about streamers that are critiquing SBI? Look, what I'm doing right now, I am critiquing what SBI is doing. If somebody sees this video in Albion Online, maybe they're gonna stay away from the game thinking that there's
I don't
way too
think
much
that's
drama
so
and they don't wanna
gotta...
get involved
Yeah,
in
I don't
this.
think that's a
This
problem.
is also ruining the public perception of the game. So should we be banned? See what I mean, adventurers? This is a very slippery slope and it's somewhat dangerous because
like-
this is...
Dude, you literally have Tyler Run, for example, you have Kasha, things like that. That dudes are really, really salty on League of Legends. And they just get crazy in the stream, like punching things and jumping randomly and screaming. They just, like, get attention because of that, and that's not the opposite. They will not get people away from it, they will... Yeah, they'll make people pay attention to what you are doing because, like, you are pushing a reaction. I mean, at least that's what I think.
What's usually happening with censorship, unfortunately. Now, I want to make my stance very clear. Something needs to be done. I am 100% in support of the protesters. Something clearly has to change, but it's tricky. Now, last but not least, let's address the elephant in the room. If we hate so much AFK streaming and if we have such a bad opinion about them, why are Equat, Coco, other streamers, and even me thinking about doing it? Why are we doing this if we hate it so much? Well, first and foremost, schmackaroons, so we can make it rain on them noobs. Second of all, This is more of an organized protest. As I mentioned earlier, it's basically unacceptable what's been happening recently in the Albion Online category and the lack of care that SBI showed as of recently in terms of fixing those problems.
Okay,
and this
makes
is,
sense.
as I mentioned earlier, our way of nudging the dead person, and maybe we get it to do a backflip. And I really want to see it.
What?
Can you imagine how viral that video would go? And now besides this, it's also about not allowing ourselves to be dug
Dude. I can make a backflip. Look this. I'm making a backflip. No, what? It doesn't let me do. It doesn't let me do a backflip. What? Let me do a fucking backflip, no? No, it doesn't let me do a fucking backflip. Okay. I don't mind. Fuck it.
There are some rules abusers. Think about playing the meta in Albion. If you want to be competitive, you have to play the meta. The same thing happens.
No, why can't I do a backflip? Now I'm curious. Like, I used to do it. Like, I just grab this thing over here or in the side, and I do this, and I used to do a fucking backflip. It doesn't let me.
Twitch. As long as this is allowed by everybody, Twitch is okay with it, Albion is okay with it, well, I don't see why they wouldn't do it. Now, about ourselves. Adventurers, I couldn't care less if SBI takes Albion Online, rolls it up and shoves it straight up Steelfront's rear end. All I care about is that they keep the game alive long enough so that actual scamation can come out. I am very tempted to join the trend and start AFK streaming as well, but I don't think that would be good for my community. Now, I want to make this very clear. I'm not saying that Equat and Coco are doing something bad for their communities. I don't know their communities, and I do trust their judgments in terms of, you know, them knowing what's best for their own communities. But now when I'm talking about my community, I know you guys, and I don't think me doing AFK streaming would be a good idea for you guys. Because by AFK streaming, at least in my opinion, for my own community, this would kind of act as a filter. You know, there's multiple types of viewers in Albion. There are the young people, the drop farmers, and the actual adults. Now, who cares about streams?
I would never like
24/7 AFK stream.
Do AFK
kids
streams
that care a lot about giveaways and free stuff, and the drop farmers, which I guess can also be adults, but you know, the drop farmer that does not care at all about the content. So by having a 24/7 AFK stream, those are the people that I'm attracting. Oh my, I seem to have just flipped the bird. It's unintentional, adventurers. I deeply apologize. But my point is that by basically just making this AFK stream
I think he just blurred the middle finger. What?
I don't want to attract the kids, and trust me, that's hard enough. I'm a guy dressed up as a wizard, and I don't want to attract
and you're family friendly.
All that I want are the reasonable adults that we can have interesting discussions with. That's the community that I'm trying to form. And by doing AFK streams, I think this would do the opposite. But adventurers, let us not forget, you are my community. You are listening to these very words. So please let me know if I'm wrong. Please let me know if you actually would like me to have an AFK stream, maybe on a different channel. Because, you know, maybe you want to farm AFK drops. And instead of watching somebody else's content, you prefer to watch my content. I would totally understand it. But as of right now, I've been thinking about it for the last 3 days. I don't think AFK streaming is something that we're going to be doing on our channel, even though I fully support the protesters in my way by raising awareness about the whole situation. And by also making it very clear that there's a distinction between the culprits and the protesters. I cannot nail this deep enough in your head. I feel like I'm a vampire hunter and you the vampire. I finally caught you and I'm trying to nail that damned wooden stick down your heart, but it's made out of very thin wood and it keeps on breaking. I'm sorry to bring this up again, but I want to make it very clear. All this topic was not about Coco, Equat, and the others. This discussion was about the AFK streamers that have caused this problem. Got it? Got it? Got it. I'm very happy to hear that. Adventurer, let me know what you think about this.
I think, like, there is a simple way of solving this. It's like, if they add to the tools of the game that AFK streamers literally can't get drops, the drops enable. That would, like, in my opinion at least, would solve the problem, because they can't farm drops anymore, so they will not get views. At least that's what I think, but yeah.
Comment section down below, and also let me know if you think I'm wrong and I should just do it as well, maybe on a separate channel. All of that can be mentioned in the comment section down below. And also, adventurer, please let me know about what other topics you would like me to cover. Until next time, I can only wish you safe travels. It's been a pleasure.
Dude, that guy does insane